Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Shanley Show. So, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, this is my official November 2025 book tag. This is the cozy... Why am I blanking on the word? Jeez, this is the cozy autumn book tag. And there is one prompt that's about Halloween, and it's a month later, but you know, it is what it is. So we're just gonna roll with this book tag and have a good time. So one thing I want to say is that for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna be taking a break from the not book tag Tuesdays, from the monthly Thursdays video, just because like I have ideas for what I want to do, like videos I would want to talk about under that umbrella. But I've also been kind of toying with the idea of potentially kind of redirecting that series in another direction, retheming it in another direction. So while I kind of decide what I want to do with that series, I'm going to be taking a break from it for the foreseeable future. I'm not sure when I'm going to bring it back, but we'll see. I want to bring it back, but we'll see if I do, because it just might be a situation where I decide not to. But with all that said, let's get into the cozy autumn book tag. So the first prompt is, what book always reminds you of autumn? And for me, there's a lot, but the first book that came to mind for me is Fate Be Changed by Farrar Shun. And this is the what if, the Disney Twisted Tales what if, answering the question of what if the witch gave Merida a different spell. And yet with most, if not all, of the Disney Twisted Tales, I highly recommend not reading the synopsis and just going based off of the what if question. Because there have been quite a few times in this series where the synopsis has basically spoiled a major plot point. And it's like, the whole point of like what if is that you don't really know what you're going to get into with that kind of a question, a story. So I think it's best to just go based off of that front question. So yeah. And then the next prompt is autumnal book cover. What is your favorite autumnal book cover? For me, that one is For Whom the Belle Tolls by J.C. Lynn. Like, this just has all the right colors for autumn, for fall, for Halloween even, all the right colors. And then this one, you follow Lily, and she has recently passed away, and she finds herself in the afterlife, and she ends up making her way to hell, but on her own terms, and she ends up making a place for herself in hell. This is based off of the Hell's Bells series by J.C. Lynn that was over on TikTok. So go check that out, and also check out this, because this is a prequel to For Whom the Belle Tolls. Or not, this is a prequel to the Hell's Bells series. So check it out. And then the next prompt is, what is your favorite autumnal drink to read with? For me, that's usually, like, if we're talking about like specifically autumn, I would probably say like apple cider. Usually I'm just a water drinker. Like, I usually don't drink anything else. And like, if we're talking like coffee wise, my usual drink is a caramel frappuccino. So I would also kind of go with that, because caramel is kind of fall-y, autumny. So I would say apple cider or caramel frappuccino. And then the next prompt is, do you prefer to read late at night or early in the morning? And for me, it's like, I like reading any time that I can, whether it's earlier in the morning, earlier in the day, or later in the day, or in the evening. I tend to read more in the evening or later at night before bed, but for me, it's like, as long as I can read, as long as I am reading, that's what's important. So the next prompt is favorite spooky. What is your favorite? Halloween is coming. What is your favorite spooky read? I realize I put them out of order. So Halloween is past, but that is perfectly okay. I am in Christmas mode now, so Like once November 1st rolls around, I am fully in Christmas mode. But since we're wrapping up autumn, perfect time for this tag. However, my favorite spooky read, I don't really have a lot of spooky reads just because I don't read a whole lot of horror, mystery thrillers, or anything that would be like spooky. So the only one that really comes to mind for me is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and other tales by Washington Irving. And like, can we take a moment to appreciate the inner cover? It's perfect. So because this is a lot of tales, I'm not going to go over every single one of them, but Sleepy Hollow is, you're basically following an itinerant schoolmaster, Ichabod Crane, as he comes upon this small town of Sleepy Hollow to be the new schoolmaster, and things start getting spooky quick. So that's this book. And then the next prompt is, what is the ultimate comfort read for you? And for me, I talked about this in last week's book tag, but The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I realized I didn't give a book description for it, So this one, you're following Bilbo Baggins as he is kind of picked up by Gandalf the Wizard and then a group of 13 dwarves to claim the dwarves' homeland. So that's what this book is about, and this is the ultimate comfort read, and I try to read it every single year. This is perfect for any season, any time of the year, doesn't matter. So like, this is a great read, and for me it's one of the top tier comfort reads. So the next prompts, not a lot of these prompts require like books as answers, but it works. So what is your favorite autumnal reading snack? For me, like, I don't really snack a whole lot. Maybe on like See's Candy's chocolate balls, the dark chocolate foil balls, or like a See's Candy chocolate. Or if we're talking specifically like fall, autumn, I remember last year they had a seasonal, I think it was like orange and cranberry chocolate that was really good. So I'd say probably that, or apple crumble muffins. So those would be my top reading snacks, and then specifically autumn ones. The next prompt is, what is your favorite autumnal candle to burn whilst reading? For me, I would say like anything bakery related, specifically scents with like cinnamon and any spices that are more used around this time of year and going into December as well, but like anything kind of spiced, like softly spiced, bakery related, those are my favorites. And then the next prompt is, when you're not reading, what's your favorite autumnal activity? Baking. I really like baking, and autumn is the perfect time to do that because it's starting to cool down, and it is mostly cool down unless California decides to be weird with their seasons, as it usually is. So baking. I would also say crocheting, because I started crocheting in September of 2023. So I've been crocheting for about 2 years now, and that's like the perfect cozy autumn activity. And then the final prompt is, what is on your autumn reading list? I kind of don't stick to a set TBR. So it's like, for me, it's like anything and everything is on my autumn TBR. Like, whether or not it's more autumn themed, like obviously I want to try to read more autumny books, but like for me at the end of the day, doesn't matter very much if it's autumny or not. Like, anything and everything is on my reading list. There are books that I try to save for autumn months, like one of Emily McIntyre's books, Crossed. I was saving that for an autumn month. At the time I'm recording this, I have not read it yet, but by the time this is out, I've probably read it. So yeah, there are books that I definitely try to save for specific months, but at the end of the day, like I said earlier, as long as I'm reading, that's what's important to me. So that is the end of this video. I'm tagging anyone and everyone who wants to do this. You can do it down below in the comments, or do your own video or your own blog post. I'd love to know what your answers are. As usual, the prompts and any books that I mentioned are down below in the comments, or it's down below in the description. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.